Hello and welcome to our series where each week we invite you to take a walk with us as we discuss some topic from the Word of the Lord. And this week we're going to take a quick look at part of God's love for us while we were sinners. Let's go. So in the Word of the Lord, particularly in Romans chapter 5, beginning in Romans chapter 5 verse 6, the Bible says, "For when we were yet without strength, in due time Christ died for the ungodly. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die, yet peradventure for a good man some would even dare to die. But God commendeth his love toward us, in that, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." So it's easy in life, for myself at least, personally I can testify to this, that it's easy to feel like when we don't do good, that God would be upset with us. Justifiably so. We can read our Bible and see that God doesn't like evil and all that kind of stuff, and we can think to ourselves that so when I do wrong, God must be really upset at me. But we do notice that God doesn't like the evil, but he didn't say he didn't like you. And that it's difficult for us to separate our actions and our behaviors from ourselves. You see, I can feel like I'm not worthy of God's love, or I'm not worthy of the salvation that the Lord extended to me because I'm doing things that are wrong, or I'm thinking things that are wrong, saying things that are wrong. Just in general, I don't feel worthy. But the fact of the matter is that when I don't feel worthy, I'm exactly right. I'm not worthy. The Bible doesn't say that Christ came and died for a bunch of perfect people. The word of the Lord doesn't say that God came and sacrificed himself for me because I was such a great person. So when I feel like I'm no good, or I feel like I'm not living right, or that I just generally don't deserve to be a part of the church, that's why Christ came and died for me. Because the fact of the matter is that I was the ungodly person that Christ died for. And that while I was a sinner, Christ died for me. In the Bible, in Romans 5:8, where it says that God commendeth his love toward us, the original text behind the word commendeth infers that it's a combination of things. Things are being combined. You're making something by combining other things. And it says that God commendeth his love toward us. So there was a major, major problem. The problem is that people couldn't live righteously enough, we see in the book of Psalms, David writing that in God's sight, no man living could be justified. We couldn't do it ourselves. We aren't righteous enough for God. That's the whole point of why Christ came and died for us, because we aren't righteous enough for God. And there was a major problem, and that problem was sin and us living in sin. But Christ created a solution in that he combined his love with his creation and said, I'm going to take all my love that I have, I'm going to take my creation that I have, I'm going to put that love and that creation together, and I'm going to go down and I'm going to be the sacrifice, and I'm going to save them all. I'm going to save anybody that would come to me. I'm going to save anybody that will accept my salvation. So I just want to encourage anybody that sees this, don't feel like you're not good enough for God and that it should keep you from God, or that you have to run away from God, or that maybe that God's upset with you. The fact of the matter is, none of us are good enough for God. None of us are righteous enough for God. Your soul is worth much more than feeling like you're not good enough so you don't belong to God, or you don't belong because you're not good enough. The fact of the matter is that it's not that you weren't good enough. It's that God felt that you were so good that he was willing to take his love and combine it with you, his creation, offer himself as a sacrifice so that he could save all of our souls, so that we could be justified. So again, just want to encourage anybody, if you're feeling down, you feel like you're not good enough for the Lord, or things are getting tough these days, especially with a lot of things going on in the world, and we just don't know what to do. Christ is the solution. God is the solution. When we weren't good enough, when the world was all going wrong, right? Which a lot of us probably feel like that right now, like a lot of things are going wrong in the world. When the world was all going wrong, Christ said, I'm going to fix it because I'm going to be the right. When the world is all going bad, I'm going to be the good. When the world cannot by itself be justified, I'm going to go and be the justification. When the world cannot offer an acceptable sacrifice, I'm going to go become the sacrifice. So again, if you feel down, if you feel like you're not good enough for the Lord, if you feel unworthy, undeserving of His love, and undeserving of His attention, always remember that God commendeth His love toward us, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.